middle body strength exercise number 1 is going to include a basic bridge. You're going to lay down flat with your knees bent and lift the bottom up and down 2 sets of 10. We're going to lay down on the mat like so. Get your body in a comfortable position with your hands flat on the ground. It will look like lift and lower. If you can't lift that high, don't be dismayed. Just activate those glutes and lift as high as you can, even if it's just like that. And eventually you'll have the strength to be able to lift completely up. We're going to begin 2 sets of 10 and lift. 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure you're breathing, lifting, tightening. And you're almost done with your first set. Finished. Give yourself a little rest break. You should feel a nice burn in the buttocks and in the back of the upper thigh. If you're having any sharp pain, you want to modify how you're doing the activity. And if you can't reduce the pain, then you can go ahead and halt the exercise. But this one is generally beneficial for those that have a weak back and are having trouble mobilizing in bed. So we're going to lift our second set of 10 in 1, 2. A way to advance this exercise is to put a ball or a pillow between your knees and squeeze, activating the hip adductors, promote strength in the spine and in the hips. But if you're struggling, keeping your form like this is good for now. And all done. Very good. Strength exercise number 2 is going to be a pelvic tilt. We're going to attempt to activate the muscles of the lower abdomen and the lower back in a little tiny movement that is very technique oriented. So once we lay down on our mat, I will explain more. We're going to begin again in the position of the bridge. So you're going to lay down with your knees bent. And you should notice that when you lay down, there might be a little bit of space underneath the upper back. And you might feel your weight kind of on the sacral bone, that triangular bone that's right above the buttock. So for the pelvic tilt, what we're going to do is close the space between the pubic bone and the sternum. Okay, so you can put your fingers here if that helps you identify those landmarks. And we're going to tilt the pelvis up. So you're going to bring the pubic bone closer to the sternum. And you'll feel a tightening of the lower abdomen and the abdominal wall. And that is your pelvic tilt. There is no lifting with the pelvic tilt. It is simply a tilt. Okay? So I'm going to put my hands back here, and we're going to begin in a set of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And relax. You may not have gotten it the first time. You'll get it next time. Keep doing the activity and you will get it. It's a very tiny movement. It's very technique oriented. If you need to slow it down, that's okay. Or if you would like to do the tilt and hold and really try and recruit all your abdominal muscles, that's okay too. We're going to begin our second set of 10. Finger on the pubic bone and on the sternum, and tilt. You'll feel a flattening of the back on the floor. I bet that's hard for you. And you're all finished. Very good. Strength exercise number 3 for the middle body is going to include an abdominal crunch, utilizing the upper extremities. So often as we age, it gets to be hard to pull ourselves out of bed. So we're going to do an abdominal exercise with the arms to help assist us coming forward a little bit. Okay? If you're really advanced and you don't feel like you need the arms, that's okay, but I am going to do the demonstration with the arms. So again, we're going to get in position on the mat with our knees bent again. We keep the knees bent because they support the lower back. So we're going to come down, feet about hip width apart, and I'm going to have you just kind of make a fist with one hand and open the other, and you're going to close it out. And we're going to do a small lift off the ground, just like that, okay? I want you to take that fist and pretend like there's an imaginary grapefruit right here, okay? So that grapefruit that's right there is going to prevent you from bringing your chin into your chest and straining the neck, okay? So imaginary grapefruit. We're going to bring the fist up with the loose hand, and we're going to lift. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure you exhale on the way out. 6, 7, 8. 2 more. And very good. And bring it back down. You should feel these muscles in here burning. Not too much strain on the neck. Sometimes you'll feel a strain in the neck when the abdominals are super weak and the neck is trying to help you to pull up. But really, we want to feel it here. We want to use our imaginary baseball so we're not tucking the chin in and putting that strain on the anterior neckline. So when you're ready, we're going to perform that second set of 10. Again, don't feel bad about resting in between sets. Rest and recovery improves performance. So here we go. We've got our fists and our hands up, and 1, 2. Keep counting. If you can count while you're doing this, then we know it's not too difficult, and we know that you're breathing. And you've got to breathe during these activities. Doing a good job, and you're all finished. Very good. Strength exercise number 4 will be a mini oblique using the upper body as an assist. We're going to lay back down on our mat again with our knees bent. And again, we're going to bring our arms up into the air, kind of a loose fist, and we're going to do a mini cross punch, just like that. Okay? When we lift, 1 to the left and 1 to the right, that will count as 1 repetition. We're going to do 2 sets of 10 with 1 rest break in between. Ready? We're going to head to the left first. 1. Remember, we talked about the invisible baseball that goes underneath the chin that limits us from flexing our head and neck too much and putting a strain on the neck. Make sure you're breathing during the task, and if 10 is too much, you can bring it back down to 5 and then take your rest break. And we're all finished. So you should feel a little bit of a burn in the muscles in the tummy, specifically the obliques that help us rotate left and right. Breathe. We're going to do 1 more set of 10, and then you'll be done with your program for the day. All right, we're going to bring our arms back up into the air with a fist and a loose hand. Remember to keep that imaginary grapefruit or baseball underneath the chin. And each time we do a left and a right, is going to equal 1. So we're going to begin up and to the left, just like that. Don't forget to come back down in between. Try and keep your form. If you start to lose your form, it's best to stop the task until you can regain your form and do the exercise properly. You don't want to strain your neck or your head trying to lift up. And you want to visualize that invisible grapefruit or baseball that's underneath the chin and that's keeping you doing things the proper way. And we're almost done. Very good.